Hey guys, my name is Mavi and I've spent the last 14 years in the plastic surgery and beauty industry, working alongside top board-certified plastic surgeons. In that time, I've helped thousands of women in their surgical journey. My passion to educate and help women feel empowered is what led to what we now know as the Big Butts, No Lies podcast. Join in on the fun as I talk to plastic surgery experts, friends, and real-life patients about all things plastic surgery. Should be fun. Hey guys, do I have the episode for you? I have a very special guest today, Dana from IG Famous by Dana. Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited to have you on. I think this is going to be one of my funnest episodes because what we're talking about today,
everyone wants to know about.
So if you don't follow Dana on Instagram, which who doesn't follow Dana on Instagram, right? You see a lot of celebrity plastic surgery kind of myths being debunked. And one of my favorite treadmill posts of Kylie, pretending to work out. And then 4 months later, here she is, beautiful, ready and done.
So, she does work out. I do want to say that, but she's walking really slowly on a treadmill. That is not giving her abs. Let's just say that.
So what the episode for today was going to be, or what it's about, I get a lot of patients and women who reach out to me who honestly believe that a lot of celebrities are natural. They believe when the celebrity says, oh, no, I haven't had any work done, they believe it. And you and I both know that that's not the case.
Right. We have intimate knowledge that that is not the case.
That is not the case. A lot of these celebrities that you guys think are snapping back or that they just work out really hard or anything like that, that's not the case. They are most definitely having work done. Even the ones who say in strongly and proudly that they're all natural have had work done.
Yeah. They're in the public eye, first of all, and it's a tough business. They have to look at their looks is what gets them a lot of their jobs and their opportunities. So there's even more pressure than the normal average person to look a certain way, to stay thin, to look youthful, especially for women. There's the joke that after 30, you expire, whatever, like as an actress or a model. It's a joke and it's a horrible misogynistic joke, but I've heard men say it over and over. And it's just unfortunate that these women feel like they have to, chase youth sometimes. And that translates into getting work done. And they have the money, the accessibility, the resources,
the time,
oftentimes they have workouts and, meals built into their programs for when, they're shooting something, whether it's a movie or a TV show or a photo shoot, it's built into their program.
So they have the time, the availability, which is what a lot of women don't have. Right. A lot of, common women who are working, we don't have the time or they don't have time.
It's expensive and it's time expensive. Just think about getting your nails done or your lashes done. It's like every 2-3 weeks, you have to sit there for over an hour to get this done. That already that puts a kink in my schedule. I don't know about you. It's like, oh my gosh, here's a 2-hour appointment. I have to, figure out.
I wait until I'm like, okay, I absolutely have to go in there. I have to go in there. I wait. I'm not on the dot because of that. I have to find time to be able to go in there and not do anything, sit down and wait for my nails to be done.
Right. And so then imagine adding in more things like Botox and filler appointments and
laser
appointments. They have to come in every month for at least an hour, things like that. You have to have the schedule that supports that. And that's before you even look at the cost,
So the cost, I think, is something that you guys really have no idea how much these celebrities are spending. I can give y'all just an example of a number that I've heard from celebrities having stuff done to their booties with either fat, but most likely not fat. For the ones that are super thin, they're having $50,000, $60,000 worth of Sculptra or Radius or filler, HAs. Yes. They'll get their butt filled completely. And to us, we're like, what? $50,000 in one sitting?
Right. I love Sculptra. Sculptra does a lot of things, but I really don't like it as a filler for your butt because First of all, I personally don't like that look, but also it is ridiculously expensive and very temporary. So when people are asking me, like, I want to get Sculptra in my hips to do what Kendall did, and I have a really, really good source that Kendall does get Sculptra in her butt and hips to just give her a little bit more of, a curve. She still doesn't even have like the Kardashian butt. She spends between $40,000 and $50,000 every couple of years to maintain that look. So when people are asking me, I'm like, 40, 50,000, it would be better off for you to get a BBL.
Pretty much.
Get a BBL. And at least it's permanent and it's half the cost, usually less unless you're going to like a celebrity doctor, but way better than $40,000, $50,000 of Sculptra to just kind of have a little bit more of a curve.
You know what? I'm going to totally plug Sculptra too, because it's one of my favorite products for face. I love it.
Yes.
I love Sculptra. For booty, I've seen it done and it really takes just so much product.
Yeah.
By the time you're done, it's too much at $700, $800 a vial.
Yes. And you'll see advertisements for like 6 vials for a booty plump. No. I mean, it's really great if you do have like some like cratering or dimpling in your butt. It smooths it out. And that's what you would use like 6 vials for, which again, she said $700. Like I've seen anywhere from $600 to $900 a vial. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But if you're just fixing some dimpling, like I get it and it's worth it. But if you're thinking you're just going to have this like voluptuous, curvy figure,
that's definitely
you're going to break the bank.
Dana, I know you have a lot of juicy information. Why don't you spill some? What do you know? Let me think about this. What do you know? Because I know you get a lot of DMs with, this person was seen walking out of here, or this person was seen here. What do you know?
Oh my gosh, I do know so much. And some of it is privileged information. Like the celebrity themselves told me something, or they told me something about another celebrity that I feel like I can't really share. But there's some, like, for example, when I was talking about Kylie and she does work out, I know that she does go to a Pilates class. It's not very frequent. It's not enough to get, the results that she's saying she's getting, but it's definitely a great workout.
Y'all, let me tell you something. These celebrities are not dumb, and they have NDAs everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere, with nurses, staff, everybody that's coming in contact with them while they're getting some work done is under an NDA. So you really can't say anything, and you really don't want, of course, as for me, I wouldn't want to give information from one of my patients if they didn't want it to be out there. So these celebrities go far and beyond what y'all think that they do to cover up that they're having work done, which leads us to the next thing, which is I think it's very toxic that these celebrities just are denying everything. Barely. Like, what did Kim Kardashian say last week?
She had a sprinkle of Botox. And that's funny because a few years ago, she said she was allergic to Botox. So which is it? Like, is it a sprinkle? Are you allergic?
No, I think she has a full face of Botox. She doesn't smile because she can't. Or what was that? I don't smile because I don't want smile lines. It's probably because your face is very tight from all that skin tightening.
Very tight. Yeah. She got a facelift. She absolutely got a facelift. And you can see like her whole lower face especially is just lifted, sculpted, pulled all the way back. You look at just a couple of years ago, she's always looked amazing. That's not, even an argument, but you could see that she had a little bit more soft tissue that was, a little bit closer to her mouth, and she had more lines around her mouth, barely aligned, but still now it's super smooth.
Do you think that's from a facelift or from the radio frequency? Because that radio frequency microneedling is amazing. I'm doing it in the winter. So
yes, my next appointment is tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So tomorrow you're getting microneedling radio frequency?
Yeah. So I do Secret RF with Utopia Med Spa. Natalie, she's the person there. She's amazing, the esthetician. So I did it. I did my first treatment in July and doing it once a month for 3 treatments.
How does it, tell us about it? How is the pain?
I have a really high pain tolerance. So I hate this question because for me, they numb you, but I'm fine. I can talk through it. I make a really great patient to film because I don't even flinch or make any kind of sound. But other people say it's horrifyingly painful to them. But I think it's a
Well,
range?
Radio frequency microneedling has been around for a while, for years. It's not anything new. So whenever I was at ACPS and we did it quite often, I remember my patients telling me about the pain. And so really the painful part is usually the forehead.
Anywhere that there's bone.
Yeah. The bony
does feel
part.
like heat.
It feels like heat.
Yeah. But it's not bad. I don't think so. But
well, I'll let you guys know what my pain tolerance, which is kind of, I would say, like a medium. I'm kind of a baby, but I'm not. Like, I know I've put myself through it. I'm like when I get my lips filled, I'm like, why am I doing this? I hate this. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I love it.
You totally forget about the pain.
I totally forget about the pain. Yeah. So I know that's how it's going to be with the microneedling. So do you think she had a facelift instead of like,
oh, I think she's been doing all of that stuff for a while, but yeah, there's like a really marked change. Like it happened, like her face looked one way and then suddenly it was different.
Oh, when was, I don't keep
like
up with
2020. Also when a lot of people went
during
out.
the shutdown, when a lot of people went under.
Right. And the number of people that started, even regular people that were getting stuff done because of masks. So that was nice for the industry.
During the pandemic, every doctor's office, every plastic surgery office was overflowing with patients and people trying to get in because they had the time.
Right. There was a couple reasons, really. There was the stimulus. There was people working from home. So they actually had that time. We talked about how time is a huge factor in their access versus ours. So people were working from home. They could slip out to an appointment. Whereas if they were in an office, they really couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Come back red and blotchy or swollen. You can't do that in an office.
So in 2020, you saw a big difference. I really don't keep up with celebrities, honestly. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw her when she started getting super thin, which I think is something we should talk about because people they think she's just losing weight and she's just gotten thinner, which was what I was thinking. I was like, she doesn't look like she had a butt reduction. She looks like she's just losing a lot of weight.
So she's doing a lot of things. Lori Hill and I have talked about this. She has a really good source that says that Kim and KHLOE, I don't know if it extends to Kylie, but they were kind of remodeling their booties. Mm-hmm. So they were going in with micro lipo, which I'm sure the micro cannula, and just kind of taking a little bit from here and just kind of resculpting. But there's definite weight loss too. The weight loss is in two forms, two parts. So they started on what I'm on, a semaglutide, and they were losing weight. And really, Surgeon Made is the one that opened my eyes to them getting a mini sleeve. It's obviously a guess. There's no way I could ever prove it, but I really do believe that they had mini sleeves because semaglutide, you do lose a lot of weight, but it's still like a few pounds a week, maybe. And then with a mini sleeve, you drop weight like even quicker. And so there was like a period of them losing weight over like 2020 into 2021. And then suddenly it like drops. And that was like, so I would say sometime around last winter, maybe is when they got it done because within a couple months, they really, really shrank. And with semaglutide, as you get smaller, you don't continue to lose weight at the same rate. You actually lose a little bit less because there's less of you to lose, right? Mm-hmm. So I truly believe that they started on that, were losing weight. They had already done a lot of, remodeling of their booties. And then they had that. And now we see ultra thin. Kim with the I'm an athlete post. Like, are you joking?
This is what I think with that. I think they had some sort of weight loss surgery simply because I've seen a lot of weight loss patients and they all kind of look the same as far as their
gauntness.
There's this look that massive weight loss patients have because they lose weight so fast.
Right.
And you can usually tell like in their lower face, their temples. If you look at Kim's temples, I wonder if they're out from Sculptra.
Yeah.
Not from fat that she has there. But you can usually tell like right here and on their legs and on their arms.
Yes. And I will add to that as a nutrition professional, a dietitian, when we're looking at weight loss in patients in hospitals, even if they're obese, we can tell if they've lost a lot of weight because maybe they're starving. They haven't had enough, food in the hospitals. We look at their temples. We touch it and I can feel if it's muscle loss, fat loss, shoulders. the chest, the cavity here. We look at ribs, obviously. We look at knees, and even like right here in between your thumb and your finger, I can feel that and feel for like muscle loss. And so those are things that we can look at if someone is starving and not getting enough food. And so when you're looking at a celebrity and you're seeing the temples are coming in, that is not normal weight loss. That is very rapid. We're losing lean mass as well as body fat because they are really, 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 really under eating or malnourished.
Or they're just, their body's not holding on to any of the nutrition that they are eating, any of the nutrients, because they had a sleeve.
Right. They're just really not getting enough.
So for our listeners who don't know, when you have a sleeve, a mini sleeve, a bypass, they're doing something to your stomach, whichever one you pick, they're doing something to your stomach to reduce the size of it. And so because of that, you cannot eat as much and you cannot drink as much. And I've heard patients tell me, I had a patient tell me yesterday, she's like, either I have to drink or I have to eat. I cannot do both. Like I have to drink water or I have to eat food. Which was difficult because she was a post-op patient and she just had surgery. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. I need you to eat some food. So they struggle with nutrient.
Yes. And so when I worked in bariatrics, a lot of it was trying to make sure that they got what they need. So fluids are your best friend in terms of getting a little bit more of a volume. So having them on high calorie shakes, things like that, if they're trying to maintain their weight, like if they've lost all the weight that they need to lose, or to get in other nutrients, because that kind of digests a little bit easier. So we would put them on some sort of shake with their vitamins and nutrients in there, and then have them have a meal after when that's kind of settled.
But do you think with a sleeve or a mini sleeve, they can put all of that in there?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely in small amounts. And so you're having to eat every 1 to 2 hours if you're trying to maintain your weight. So once you get to where you want to be and you don't want to lose any more, it's definitely like eat every 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah. So they probably are not doing that.
No.
So in conclusion to this little part was Kim, I do think she had some sort of weight loss bariatric surgery. And KHLOE.
Absolutely.
KHLOE's face over the years, like I saw this picture, they were like, let's give all the Kardashians their face back.
Yeah.
And KHLOE's transformation has been
staggering.
Wow. It's so slow that you really, it grows on you as she's changing. But then when you look at like before and then now, it's a completely different person.
Oh, absolutely. And even I know her face like has changed, but like her butt, Kim's too. People keep telling me like they took their BBL away. No, their butts are still enormous for tiny
their frame.
Yeah, they're tiny. Like
if y'all look at Kim's ankles and then look at her butt, like those legs do not match that butt. Even now.
No, it is huge. It is still huge, even compared to like mine or your butts.
Yeah, she has a big butt. She has, and I mean, you guys, I think we couldn't really tell how big it was, but when some of those pictures, which I mean, given she had just had a baby not that long ago, when some of those pictures with those long skirts, side profile, that is a big butt.
Yeah, no, it's massive. And so it's crazy to me when people are like, the BBL is gone. No, it is not. Like that would still take a couple rounds if you were going to go get it done to look that big.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of rounds with a good BBL surgeon to get it to look like that. Let me tell y'all, with this remodeling of their booty, I think it's because the style of BBL is changing. Mm-hmm. I've seen it change and like how doctors are doing it from a more like shelf to a more natural look, like where it's just teardrop, which is how I like the teardrop look.
I like the natural look, even though those aren't natural. Like that's, still really massive, but the shape is more natural.
Yeah. I like the more natural shape, which is why whenever she started changing the shape of her butt, I was like, thank God, Kim, because that was not doing anything for you.
Right. We like the slope. We don't want to look like a horse, like where it's just stacked on top.
Which, I mean, KHLOE right now is looking better, but there was a point where it was very, very bad. When you know what? I hate having to talk about other women's bodies in a way like that, but I do want to talk about it because I think if we don't talk about it and say like, hey, this is not normal, this is not natural, please do not believe, because I have women reach out to me and tell me, oh, you really think Kim had plastic surgery? She says she works out.
I mean, I literally posted Dr. Chamada's post. Like, it was from him, and people asked me what the workout plan was. And I was like, this is a surgeon's post. The surgeon is tagged. This person from her before could never look like this after. And then I got an onslaught of messages that were like, it's absolutely doable. She should have just been in the gym. And I'm like, oh man, y'all have drank the tea, drank the Kool-Aid.
They drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, you can get some projection, but a muscle butt does not shake like the BBL shakes. Like a muscle butt, you can get a little bit of shake out of it, but you're not gonna step down and you're gonna get away.
And it just wiggles.
And it just wiggles. Like that's not gonna happen. Even though, I mean, I'm sure we'll get some messages with girls who say that theirs does.
Yeah, but they probably don't have a muscle butt. Like they might have fat there. I mean, some people really just have fat there, which is fine.
Some people do have fat asses. They were born with them.
Right. But really, it's crazy to me because when you're working out and everything, that you lose some of the fat there. You don't gain it. You're not building fat there to have it jiggle or get bigger and rounder. The muscle is growing. That's how you're building a butt. And it's a completely different look and feel to your butt.
You know what I think is really interesting? Besides the Kardashians, it's just plastic surgery in celebrities in general. And a lot of celebrities saying that they don't have plastic surgery. And I think if we would all just, like, for example, and this is a man, Tom Cruise. I think he had a facelift recently.
I think so too. And he has been in and out of surgeons' offices before. So yeah, he definitely likes to look good.
I mean, Tom Cruise isn't my favorite, but
he's not my favorite either.
But I mean, he has kept his looks for, how old is he? Over 50, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Over 50, probably.
Much older than we are.
Yeah. He was already an adult when I was growing up. So yeah, I'm sure he's a lot older. And what you guys don't know is men are in plastic surgeons' offices just as much as women. Yes. There's just doctors that cater more to men and are very secretive and are hidden offices with no names on the door. And that's where they're going.
And also men don't go for as extreme of looks sometimes. Like we would have guys come in for Botox all the time and they would say like, I want to keep my lines. I just want them to be less severe or, soften the lines a little bit, versus women would come in and be like, freeze me up, baby. Like take it all away. No lines.
No lines. I do not want to move.
Right.
Do you see that there's like two different types of patients? There's the patient that's like, I don't want anybody to know, like hide everything. And then there's the patient that's like, oh my God, look at my boobs. I just got them done.
Yes. And I feel like it's usually younger, like our age, millennials and Gen Z that are like, look at my boobs. Look at my tits. I paid for them. And then I feel like it's like the older, like Gen X and boomers that are like, I don't even want my husband to know. I had a client years ago that she had smoker's lines like really bad. And her lips were, they had thinned out a lot with age. And so she wanted to get back to what her lips looked like when she was 20. So we filled in the smoker's lines, plumped up her lips a little bit. She looked very natural. She came back the next day upset. She was like, everyone at work knew. They knew that I got my lips done. They said it looked good, but I didn't want anyone to know. And I was like, but did you want to keep your smoker's lines or did you want no one to notice? Because her mouth went from a 60-year-old, 50-year-old mouth to, a really nice 30, 40, like what she looked like 10, 20 years ago.
And she was like, no, I don't want anybody to know.
Yeah. And I was like, do you want the results or not? She ended up loving it later on, but she just felt like she was embarrassed. Our age, we're like, girl,
I got my lips done yesterday. I'm sorry if I'm talking a little funny.
Do you see my lines? Gone.
That's me. I'm like, when people talk or ask me if I've had any work done, I'm like, yeah, I had this, I did this. And I've talked about it on previous episodes. I've had my breast done. I've had lipo. I had a tummy tuck and I had a fat put in my butt. Yeah, I did. And I think if celebrities would just say that, then other women who are ashamed would be like, well, I mean, it's not that bad, I guess, if they're doing it. And that's really all it is. If somebody is just open about it,
right? The
more and more people that are open about it, because at the end of the day, we all just want to look good. We all want to feel better.
Right. Yeah. There's like shame, like when you're hiding and you don't want anyone to know, there's like a shame aspect. And instead of being proud and also that you have the resources and ability to get it done. I mean, I'll get ID'd. I'm 32 and people will be like, really? in your 30s, I'm like, thank you. Botox, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Do it. Also Secret RF, also fillers, do it.
Do all of it. Do all the things.
All the things that you can, do it.
I mean, and you have to really do it while you're younger. So for example, me, that's why I want to do the radio frequency microneedling now, because I want to try to push that facelift off.
Right.
You know, kick it down the line to hopefully get away with it maybe when I'm close to 50 instead of, which a lot of women are doing it now at 30,
yes.
40.
So many, especially very, very wealthy women or women that are in the public eye. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't just not do anything for years and then wait until your skin just is extra wrinkled or extra, like you have like soft tissue hanging. I mean, you can get it done then, but at that point, it's like you waited too long. And if you had done those little things every year, every few years, by the time you are doing that, there's
work that needs to be done.
Less work that needs to be done. Exactly. Because you've maintained, which I like to maintain, enhance a little. I don't want to look different than I am. I just want to just maintain my looks. And so if you're doing that, you're not going to have the extra like hanging skin because you've been taking care of it.
Right. So when you do a facelift, let me tell you guys, when you do a facelift, the facelift does nothing for the texture or the tone of your skin.
Right.
It will bring the skin up. But if that skin is crepey and has a lot of hyperpigmentation and dry and all of those things, it's not going to change. You have to do something for your skin and take care of your skin. And I like to recommend to my patients to start on a really like intense skincare regimen, like 3 to 6 months before their facelift. Like, let's get all of this cleared up before you go in and have facelift.
Right. And also with facelifts, you're really just pulling the skin back. You're pulling the muscles and things back. But if you're losing volume, which happens with age, you're going to have to replace the volume, whether it's filler or using your own fat, which I love. Like I am saving up for that. Going to put the fat back in my face where it needs to go. A facelift just pulls everything up and holds it there. So it's like, okay, your face is tight, but you're missing the fat on your cheeks that you need. Your skin texture is rough. It's discolored, age spots. You know, there are other things that show age than just wrinkles or skin laxity.
For sure. Absolutely. And when you are coming up to your facelift and your skin already looks good, right, you also can reduce that bill, because a lot of plastic surgeons, when they do your facelift quote, they'll quote you for your facelift and then some sort of like CO2 laser or some sort of really intense laser or treatment to resurface your skin. Right. So if you're already taking care of it leading up to a big procedure like that, it also lowers what you're going to have to do, pay up day of. Right. Exactly. I love a CO2 laser. I haven't had it, but I cannot wait for I haven't had it, but I've seen, like, I go to this girl, Rosmine, and my esthetician, she did a CO2 and she was showing me some before and after pictures of like CO2 and microneedling, like CO2 first. And then I think she went in a few months later and did microneedling. And the neck, I thought it had a neck lift. I thought the patient had a neck lift. And I was like, did she do surgery? And she said, no, this is just from CO2 and radio frequency and microneedling, which is wow. Yeah, no, I had a client who was in her 70s or 80s and had ridiculously amazing skin. Her neck and her face were just flawless. And then her chest, that's where you could see her age. And it's because she had done like, I don't know how many treatments back in the 80s or 90s, like way years ago when they probably were even more dangerous with it. They were. She did like a couple treatments, which they don't even recommend that you do anymore, on her face and neck. And so the face, like the skin on her face versus her chest was like two different people. And I was like, you need to go back and do everything now because like, oh my God, match. I wish you would have gotten a picture of that, or maybe you should find a picture, and because it's important to show. I think for educational purposes, I think it's important for patients to see like the difference in the skin where you do it and where you don't. Yeah. So she's the reason that I always do my chest too, like neck, face, bring it down. And then anything extra, because I'm really bad about getting the right amount, I do hands and butt. Like do my hands and then wipe the butt. I don't do my butt, but I always bring it down into my neck, and then whatever's left, I put it on my hands, because I feel like hands age. Yes, you can see, and you can see like even now, I feel like I'm starting to lose fat in my hands.
No, definitely. That is a place to see age because we use it a lot. It's in the sun a lot. It's a place we forget to put sunscreen and we don't do our, the whole routine here. So definitely I do my hands.
Dana, before I let you go, how did you even end up doing what you're doing?
Like
how did it happen?
Or the page?
Both. Well, isn't your job? What do you do for work? I thought that page was your job.
Oh, no, I wish. I'm trying to get it to where that's what I'm really doing. I'm a dietitian, but I also work with plastic surgeon offices and med spas, like basically helping them. I don't run their social media. I don't do their social media. I just teach them like best things to do. Yeah, best practices, best ways to really show up and be a part of that space because a lot of plastic surgeons are older and they're used to like yellow page ads and TV commercials. They love TV commercials. And I'm like, nobody
watches TV.
Yeah. And when we do, we're streaming. So we skip the commercials. Like we're not seeing your commercials. And so, yeah, I help them like find a person to hire sometimes, like just all sorts of consulting services there, but I don't actually run their social media or make their posts or anything like that. So that's what I do with this page. It really started as it was an outlet, honestly, because I was doing consultations for clients because really my boss just saw that I had a really good ability to describe procedures in a way that the patient understands. Also, patients will come in and ask for something that's completely wrong because they don't really know what it is. They're just hearing, misinformation. And just really doing that whole consultation process because we had, brilliant providers, but when a person said, I want cheek filler, they would give them cheek filler, even though that wasn't addressing what the client was actually upset about. Like maybe they needed cheek filler, but that's not what they were worried.
The root cause of what's going on.
Right. So I would talk with them and actually find out what they actually need, like what they're actually expecting, manage their expectations, describe different procedures in a way that they, understood and felt comfortable with. And so I was doing all these consultations and people would say the most, just the craziest things like, oh, I want Botox in my lips, but I don't want to look like Kylie. And I was like, well, Botox doesn't
go in the lips.
It doesn't go there.
And it would take a few syringes for you to look like Kylie.
Honestly, you've told me your budget. You cannot afford to look like Kylie. So do not worry. And also that is multiple sittings. Like you'd have to come in every 2 to 4 weeks for the next couple months to get 6 syringes in your lips. So don't worry about it.
Don't worry. You'll be fine.
You're going to be fine. Yeah. So obviously when you're talking to a client, it's different. So after a whole day of people saying just crazy things to me and just so much misinformation, or I want to look like this celebrity who's never done anything, I needed an outlet. So I would be like, this celebrity definitely does stuff. It's right here. It is obvious. Look at it, guys. And so
that's where it started.
Yeah.
And it just blossomed from there.
Yeah. I didn't know it would grow. I honestly was starting it for myself and then it just blew up. I remember I had started it January 2018, but I posted once every few months, maybe. And I remember in November, I was leaving a really horrible job at a med spa, not New Life. I love New Life Wellness. I loved working there, but I had moved on to a new place, hated it. I just left there and I started posting more and I went from 1,500 followers to 15,000 between November and January.
Dang.
Yeah. It felt overnight. And then it just kept snowballing and here we are. That's now it's a little bit slower because of Reels.
Oh my God. I'm still trying to figure out Reels. You guys being on social media, it's a lot harder than what y'all think it's
time consuming.
It's very time consuming.
It's emotionally difficult. Sometimes the messages I get, most of the people are amazing, but there are some people that I don't know who raised them, honestly.
Trust me. I know. I got trolled for the very first time maybe a month ago. And I was shocked.
What happened?
This girl sent me a message and she was like, I don't know who you are, but you're nobody to me. You're a scam. She told me you're a scammer and I'm going to let everybody know you're a scammer. And I was like, what the hell? Who are you? Why?
Just out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere. She sent me a message on Facebook and it was in that other folder. And I didn't see it till a month later. And I was like, what the heck is this? Who is this? What did I do to piss you off? I don't know you.
Right.
So
it's crazy. I mean, I've had some stuff with celebrities and influencers, but like random people, sometimes they're just straight up mean. And then sometimes I feel like they think that they're being nice or that they're doing something. Like the number of people who've been like, so you're really pretty, but like, I think you would do really great with a nose job. I'm like, but I didn't ask you. And you can't just tell somebody that. And also terrible. I've had one. Thanks.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And
you have to have tough skin though, because you know what I've kind of learned ever since I left. I worked in a plastic surgery environment, an office environment for 14 plus years. And when I left and I'm kind of, you know, most of the time I'm by myself working with like people who I've selected, kind of like I'm choosing who I am interacting with.
Right.
And when I have to interact with people that I didn't choose, I'm like, wow, I've really been living in a different world and in a different bubble, because why are you talking to me like that? Or
who raised you?
Yeah, why are you so rude? Why are you so mean? Like, what's going on in your life is what I'm thinking. Like, God, something must be wrong.
No, absolutely. It's never about you. It's never about me, because it's not like I was asking for feedback or opinions, just like you, like about my face, about my own body, or, you know, like I'm not soliciting for them to say the things that they are. It would be different if I was like, I'm perfect and my face is absolutely perfect and whatever, but I'm not even like that. So it just doesn't make sense to me when people come in and say, you need to lose weight or your nose needs to be done. I had a message a couple of weeks ago where I just responded back like, you know, that's super rude. She was like, have you ever thought about fixing your jaw? Like, it definitely moves really weird. Like something's wrong with it. And I was like, no, that's just how I talk. Like, that's just what my mouth does. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. I'm not going to have jaw surgery because a rando doesn't like to look at my face when I talk. Just unfollow and move on.
Scroll by.
Right.
Just keep scrolling.
If you don't want to see my face, like follow someone else. It's fine.
I'm not upset.
Right. I didn't even know you existed until you told me my jaw was weird.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry, Dana.
Don't be. No, most of my followers are absolutely amazing. It's just like the random person that I'm like, would you walk up to a stranger and say that? Or a friend or a neighbor or anybody, you know, like you would probably get shot in Houston if you walked up to somebody and said something like that.
For real. It's getting dangerous, you guys. I do think that being online kind of makes you a target because you're even putting yourself out there. And honestly, let me tell you guys, I've been wanting to jump on TikTok, but sometimes I'm looking at some of the comments that people leave on other videos and I'm a big baby. I know I'm going to cry if somebody leaves comments on my videos that are mean or calling me like names.
Oh no, you just have to grow thick skin because you can't let them stop you from doing what you want to do. Like, do it and laugh. Be like, you know what? Yeah, I am a little bit chunky and I look great.
And I'm a whole dinner.
Right. And also, yeah, like my nose is still a little bit bigger because I wanted it to still look Arab. I already had a nose job. Thank you. Do you want to pay for a revision? Like, why are you talking to me?
Why is this even on your radar?
Right. Maybe worry about yourself.
Is it women or men do you get most hate from?
Men when it comes to my body, women when it comes to like nose, face, lips. Like when I was posting about my lipo, because it was a reel, like I don't have a lot of male followers, thank God, because they definitely
are vicious.
Yeah, they want to comment on women's bodies, like mind your own. But it was a reel. So obviously people who don't follow me were, you know, seeing it. And so many guys were like, you could just work out. And I was like, I literally have said this in this video and other videos. Like I have a double chin, even when I'm super skinny, even when I've been underweight in my life, I had a double chin. It is genetic. Don't really have a chin to begin with. So it was very easy to have a double chin situation going on, and no amount of working out in the gym would fix that. So,
and either way,
and also it's none of your business.
It's none of your business, dude. What is my nose? Your business.
Right. But yeah, they're like, just get in the gym. Oh, you're lazy. Get in the gym.
Okay. So for all of our listeners who have been told this, go to the gym. Don't get surgery. Why are you thinking about surgery? You can just work out. You can lose weight. You need to tell those people, whoever's telling you that, that you're going to do whatever it is that makes you happy, and that they can do whatever it is that makes them happy. And then we're both happy. I do what makes me happy. You do what makes you happy. We don't bother each other. We're good to go.
Right. And I want to talk about the misconception that people who have surgery do not work out. Like, that is the most ridiculous misconception. I don't know why people think it's an either or. Like, if you get surgery, you don't work out. Actually, most surgeons will tell you, you need to work out. You have to. You have to before. You have to. As soon as I tell you that you're allowed to, you need to be in there to maintain your results. And also for health purposes. But that's a side note. Like, we work out. We do. We eat well. We do.
I like to eat.
Right.
That's why, hello.
Well, and for me, it was like, yeah, during 2020, like gyms were closed. I stopped working out. I started eating whatever. We were like drinking every day. Like those first few months, especially, like I put on weight. I hadn't put on jeans in like a year. Did. Yeah. So now I have been losing weight before I started the semaglutide, and I have been working out. And if I want something to make it go a little bit faster, if I want to also do surgery, first of all, that's how you get the best results, in my opinion, is a combination of everything. But also, it's my life, my body. Like, if it's not for you, right. If it's not for you, then don't do it.
And I think if we should apply that for everything in our life.
Right. Right. If it's not going to bother, like if it's not bothering you, if it's not going to affect your life, like don't worry about it. Just go do your life.
Okay. So why do you think celebrities do not want anybody to know? Or the better question is, why do they think that natural beauty is completely better than I guess manufactured?
I don't know. There is this idea like that natural, and I hate that word anyway, but that natural is better because I guess it means that they're just inherently better than you, right? Like they
like I was born this way.
I was born this way. That just gives the like effortless, like I'm just stunning, gorgeous, perfect, everything that you wish you could be by accident. It just happened for me. Like that kind of like feel to it, which is ridiculous because
which makes other women feel like, oh my God, why can't I do that?
Yeah. Like,
what's wrong with me?
I'm drinking lemon water too. I'm in the gym. I'm using a waist trainer. I don't understand why I don't have an hourglass body already with perfect smooth skin. Like, yeah, no, it makes everyone else feel like what's wrong with me, or I just got bad genetics or something like that. And that's not true. And especially when you see these celebrities before they were famous or just getting famous versus now, like they leveled up. They all do, whether it's Megan Fox or Kim Kardashian or someone that you wouldn't even expect, like Jennifer Aniston. If you look at her, always has been gorgeous, but has definitely leveled up. It's because they have that access. And I don't know. I hate the word natural because it's weird when the line is arbitrary, right? It's weird when they're like, Botox is where I draw the line, but they get their lashes done, their nails done, they wear makeup, they dye their hair, they curl their hair or straighten their hair or whatever it is, wear a push-up bra, all these things, which is totally fine. But it's like, but Botox is where you draw the line. Do you know what natural means? No one does because it's
up to every natural or whatever beauty is individual to each person.
Right. So it's so arbitrary.
Nobody can really decide what that natural look is because those celebrities that y'all think are natural are not.
Exactly. And so I just hate that word. And yeah, they definitely want to make us feel like there's just something about them that they're better than us. That they're better than us. Exactly.
You know, I did have a patient recently who she was having surgery. Where was her family from? I think her family was from like Pakistan, but it was very hush hush.
Yeah.
Like not even her sisters could know. Her mom knew, and that was it. Her dad did not know. Nobody else knew but her and her mom. And I was like, why though? And she's like, we can't have surgery. You're not supposed to have surgery. It's like very, very frowned upon.
Mm.
I was trying to understand because she had lipo 360 BBL. Do they think that just grew? Or how are you going to explain your new butt?
I mean, we know how celebrities explain their new butt. They start talking about products they might be using. They start showing themselves like in or around gym equipment. Like, I'm working out, guys, working out. And then when they show up in a bikini, 5-6 months later, if you say anything, they're like, I've obviously been working out. And it's like, you've never not worked out. Like the Kardashians, they work out. Like people who say that they don't, they do. They work out, they have their trainers, whatever. but their bodies are not changing because of these workouts. Their bodies are just, whatever like amount of fat they're wanting to keep on them. That's what they're doing. Whatever little bit of muscle tone that they want to keep on them, that's what they're doing in the gym. So they never stopped working out. So when they start showing themselves, like Kylie, like walking on a treadmill, and then she never posts herself doing Pilates. She just says Pilates later, something like that. We never actually see it. She's trying to gaslight us into saying she lost all that baby weight, got abs because of this and not because of surgeries she's having. Previous surgeries, when you've had lipo, it's easier.
Easy to snap back.
Yeah, it's easier because you have less fat cells there to begin with. So
I think that also leads to this next point that I want to make, which is this idea that people have that doctors will not bend the rules, or, oh no, they can't have a sleeve. No doctor would do that.
First of all, I know regular people like this one cardiologist came for me, was saying like no surgeon would ever give anyone who isn't like a high BMI a sleeve. Like no way, no way, no way. And I'm like, that's hilarious because I specifically know surgeons who will. Yeah, insurance isn't going to cover it because it's not a need. Is it ethical? I mean, at the end of the day, it's between the surgeon and their patient. But for the right price, and especially the wealth that we have in Houston, like, yes,
they're doing it.
They're doing it. I've seen it. I know people in particular. Surgeon Maid was not obese. She had it. She talks about it, a mini sleeve. Yes, they will. And also, if you can't find one in the United States, there's always the DR or Mexico. I'm not suggesting that people go there. I'm just saying it's readily available everywhere.
So this idea that, oh, no, they're not doing it because no doctor would do it is completely false.
Right.
And we're being gaslighted.
Right. They might not do it for you because you're trying to get a tummy tuck.
Covered through insurance.
Yeah, for sure. Insurance. But you want a tummy tuck like with a C-section, they're not going to pay like, okay, I'm not going to do all that for a $10,000 tummy tuck or a $15,000 tummy tuck. But if I have $100,000 or $50,000 and I'm like scheduled C-section, tummy tuck immediately, there are surgeons who do it. I know surgeons in Houston who do it, not just celebrities, but for wealthy people, because they are paying over the price tag and it makes it worth the surgeon's time to take those risks. Yeah.
And most plastic surgeons will not do surgery on a woman who has just had a baby.
Right.
Usually they'll make you wait like
6 months,
6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Like you want to let I like to say, give it 9 months to a year because you want to give yourself time.
And I stand by that. Like I am not saying that people should have these done.
I don't think they should.
Yeah. And you get better results if you wait. But absolutely, most surgeons are not going to do it, but for the right price, they will. And for these celebrities, like they can do it and then have a follow-up surgery or procedure a few months later to, enhance the results even better versus if you're just a regular person and you're trying to get that $15,000 tummy tuck when it looks not as great as you'd want it to be because you had it immediately after giving birth. You probably don't have the time and resources to do that second follow-up procedure that would give you the results celebrities have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think we spilled a lot of tea today. I think we could have spilled a little more, but you guys, the secretness around celebrity plastic surgery, they keep it secret for a reason. they keep it secret. Oh, they have their ways.
Can we talk a little bit about some of the things that they do?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kim basically hinted at that in her house, she has lasers or laser rooms. So it sounds like people come over to her place. Now, you're probably not going to have plastic surgery in your house, but it sounds like she has people come to do these very expensive lasers on her.
She probably buys the machine.
Right.
They're only
like $250,000,
they're only like
$500,000 machines.
Well, I mean, for her, if she's doing it and she's,
right.
I mean, why? She has the money.
Absolutely.
If I had the money,
right,
I'd have it in my house too.
Right.
Hire somebody.
So there's that. I mean, she doesn't even have to leave the house. So we don't have to see her coming out with her face, red and swollen. What are some things that you've seen?
Mine are most of them have had surgery. I'm on the surgery side. So I would see patients for fillers and stuff like that. But most of my celebrity experience has been through surgery.
Right.
Surgeries.
I know some of their tricks that they use, like going under false names. And false names in the system.
So they give false names. They plan their surgeries after hours, like in the middle of the night, like after midnight, with very, very little people, just the doctor, the circulator, and maybe one more person, the anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like a skeleton crew.
It's a skeleton crew, and they go over the top. And they, like, I've heard of spray painted parking garage security cameras.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cause they were not about to get caught.
Yeah. And there are surgeons, especially in Beverly Hills, that do have back entrances and second entrances. Like they do. That's how
on purpose.
On purpose. Like that's what they want to, for us not to know that they're having anything done.
I mean, in New York, all of those office buildings, there's so many like high dollar plastic surgeons up there that literally don't have anything on their door. Nothing.
Yeah.
You have to know exactly where you're going. You have to know, like, there's no way that you're accidentally going to stumble upon this office and catch, a celebrity walking out. That's not going to happen.
Yes. And that happens here too. Not as frequently as New York, but yes.
Not as frequently. Who is doing it? I
mean, so some of these surgeons will have it at like surgical hospitals. Like I had mine at First Surgical Hospital, and they have wings that are like ultra private, have their own entrance, like things like that you wouldn't know, especially if you're coming from the outside. It just looks like a big like hospital building, mm-hmm. and people are going in through back doors and have private wings that the other side of the hospital has no idea what's going on. Like they don't know who these patients are or what's going on over there.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, at First Street, they have different specialties, and a lot of these hospitals have different specialties, but I think some of the celebrity doctors have their own surgical centers. Yes. That they're not even bothering going to another facility.
Yeah. Dr. Jung is he's building a new one. So he has Premier Surgical Arts that's like off, is it Richmond? Yeah.
Richmond.
And he's building one in the Heights now, and it's massive. I'm sure that one will have celebrity secret,
celebrity
exits. Yeah,
I'm sure, because his patients get. I wonder.
He has a lot of celebrity patients.
He has a lot of celebrity patients. I wonder if I could get any of them on. I'm gonna try.
Who, Dr. Jung?
Any of his celebrity patients who will actually talk about it.
You should look at, what's her name? Cheney, Kanye West's like ex-girlfriend. She went to Dr. Jung, and she was pretty open about having work done.
Oh,
she might be able to get her. I don't know.
Maybe I'll look her up.
Yeah.
I think honestly, you guys, what I want y'all to learn from this episode more than anything is that celebrities are just like us.
Yes.
They want to look good. They want to feel better about themselves when they look in the mirror. I mean, it's normal.
It's normal to have a little bit of vanity, right? Especially in their industry where, I mean, we're seeing their faces, their bodies all the time. And whether we like it or not, we're a part of the system where we are judging them, and it's rough. It's rough.
It is rough for them.
Yeah.
So the point of this episode is celebrities are doing plastic surgery all around us. They've all had it, even if they say they haven't. Even if they say they've had something, whether it be filler, whether it be a little bit of skin tightening, whether it be a facelift or a lip lift, these very subtle changes over time
that just elevate. They were already beautiful before, but it just elevates their beauty to something that feels like we can never achieve because they've had so much to get there. There's a reason why we say girl next door pretty, because that's the normal average. You see someone walking down the street pretty versus that elevated, manufactured, if you want to use that word, beauty that can only come with, having access to these amazing technology and procedures that we have.
Which I don't think you guys, we live in the future. I mean, we are in the future. We get food delivered to our front door from ordering it on our phone. Like, they're doing drone deliveries. Like, we live in the future. Why not take advantage of the technologies that are available to us to make us look better?
Right. If it's for you, it's for you. Like, there should be no judgment. And that's what I really want, is for people to be like, they're pretty, not they're pretty, but they've had surgery, or, oh no, surgery is, awful, or it's whatever it is. I just want people to know that it's an option. If it's something that's for you,
if it's something that's interesting, if it's something that interests you, go for it. I think I live in a bubble because I'm like, in my head, plastic surgery is just so normal. I've just been talking about it so much for so long.
Right.
And I know, like, you can clearly tell that person has had work. This person has had work. Like, I'm constantly like, oh, her work looks good. I'm like, I can tell. And I live in my own world. And I think that everybody knows that a lot of people are having work done. But then when I talk to people, I'm like, y'all think nobody's having work done, but everybody's having work done.
Yeah. And that's something that I've noticed, like when you've worked in it, when you know exactly what these procedures do, what they look like the trademark things, that sometimes it's hard to explain. Like you just know it if you know. And
like the weight loss.
Yeah. Like that look. You know what it looks like. And then you are trying to show it to other people and they're like, I don't see anything. It looks like she just lost weight. And I'm like, this model who was like 112 pounds to begin with, what weight did she lose that her eyebrows are literally higher on her face now? Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm cultivating some eye for aesthetic out there with my page. Hopefully some followers are starting to like
understand and see. Oh my God, hold on. Before we get off, I thought it was hilarious about this. Kim wants to be a plastic surgery consultant.
Oh my gosh. She tells on herself over and over and over again. Like, first of all, yeah, like she doesn't know, like just because you get procedures done, it doesn't mean that you know enough to be consulting for anyone, but she definitely has a really like strong knowledge and stuff because she gets so much done. Meanwhile, in the same article, in the same interview, trying to tell us just a little bit of Botox. Ma'am, do you have experience or not? Because you've never worked in a med spa. You're not trained as a surgeon. You're not trained as an injector. You're not trained as an esthetician. So like, where's your knowledge base coming from?
Where's all this education?
Right.
Where are the credentials or where's the expertise? Like,
right.
If you've never had anything, if you've had these things done over the last 20 years, 10 years, and because you've been experiencing it, then I would freaking book with you.
Right. I still wouldn't because just because something like I said, if you've had work done, it doesn't mean that like who it's right for, who it's not right for. Like when we work in these things, we have people come train us on every new laser, on every new injectable, everything. The whole like team gets, even if I personally don't do injections, I still got trained on who it's for because we cross sell, we talk to other patients, So I still personally would be like, it does, just because you know how to do it, like, you know what to do for yourself. And these are the procedures you've had done. It doesn't mean that you know how to talk to other people about it and, give them the right recommendations. But that being said, like, how are you going to tell me that you know about all of these things? She says she has a list of the best doctors, but ma'am, I haven't done anything. What?
How do you have this list?
Right. Where did you get a list? Anything? You just like casually like go into offices and talk to doctors and have nothing done. Like that's what you do. I thought you were busy.
I thought you were a lawyer now. Right. Aren't you in law school? How do you have so much time? And don't you have 4 kids? How do you have so much time?
Right. I mean, I have a hard time like keeping up with doctors and things, having a full-time job. I can't imagine like having a TV show and a skincare line that I don't use and everything and still being like, yeah, I have lists.
You know what? Another thing that I want to point out is Kim is probably going to be referring patients to doctors that she has seen who are already pretty busy.
Right.
And the thing about celebrity doctors is that because they are so busy, you lose a little bit of that personalized, like concierge type of experience because they just have so many people. Next, I gotta go. So I feel like for me, I like to send my girls to doctors who are really good, but they're still not like 1.2 million followers on Instagram because they're great. They're great surgeons and they're going to hold your hand the whole way. Not bye. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
So I actually do have a celebrity story that I think I can share with you.
Ooh,
so
yay.
I know we're like way over time, but okay. So Christine Quinn, she's from Selling Sunset. thin girl moment for me. Like she talks to me like we're friends. Like I tell people like, this is my best friend.
This is my
bestie. But yeah, she's awesome. She went to, and I'm not going to name the surgeons because I don't know if she'd be upset about that part. So she went to one surgeon who is a celebrity surgeon. Celebrities go to him. There are mixed reviews about how good he is because he is very talented for sure, but he has grown his britches, let's say. And even with Christine, who is a celebrity, he was wanting to do things that were beyond her comfortability, like outside of what she was wanting. Basically, it started out that she was just wanting to have something done. And she's pretty open about her procedure. So I'm sure at some point she'll talk about it. She was wanting to have something done. And he was kind of, talking about maybe we can post about it, whatever. And she was like, yeah, sure. And then it just evolved into this whole big thing. And they were quite rude to her. And it got to where they canceled her appointment. And she was very like, what is going on? And she talked to me and we found another surgeon who also celebrities go to this surgeon. But this surgeon, she's a female. She has like 20,000 followers. She's not like this, like when I say celebrity surgeon, like the surgeon themselves is a celebrity. Mm-hmm. She's not a celebrity herself. And she ended up loving it. She loved the process. It was like night and day difference because that first surgeon, he was all just, I'm a celebrity too. Like I'm a celebrity too. And we're doing this to continue to feed into my own celebrity. Yeah. And that other one took better care of her. And so Christine Quinn gave me permission to mention her doctor. It is Dr. Catherine Chang, who has done several other celebrities that I can't actually tell you about, but that's who she went to and had a wonderful experience with. Yeah.
Perfect. So that story is exactly what I'm saying, that just because you go to a celebrity doctor, it doesn't mean that you're going to have a better result and better experience, because the result is very important, but the experience is even more important. And the hand-holding is even more important because complications can arise from the best surgeon, the best prepared patient. Like complications can happen. And if you have a celebrity surgeon that you can barely even get a hold of and you're having an issue, what's going to happen? We're going to get probably to a call center or maybe call over here before you know it, 2-3 hours later, before you even get even that. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a couple of days, sometimes it's a week.
Right. And that's even assuming that they listen to you and they are, explaining everything that they're doing for you and, things like that, where you guys are on the same page. Because if they're not hearing you and they're just talking over you, you're probably not going to be happy with the result. Not because what they did was bad. I'm sure it's a great surgery, but they didn't hear what your needs were, what issues or things you were trying to address. And they just did what they thought what they thought was best for you without your buy-in. And so you're never going to be happy with that result.
Absolutely. And I feel like that happens a lot with women with breast implants and how sometimes they get pushed into a little bit larger than what they want.
Yeah. The number of male surgeons in general that are like, go bigger, you're going to regret it. And then the women actually regret going bigger instead of, choosing the size that they did. I hear those stories like countless times. We need more female surgeons, honestly.
You know what? I'm always standing for my female surgeons. Yes. I interview them all the time on the show because I feel like they are more attentive. They listen. They explain things better. They're more, they're a woman. They're like me. They're
right. And they're not trying to push you to bigger boobs because of the male gaze. Like they're not pushing you. They're listening to what you want and exactly what you're describing. And they know that bigger might look better to some of these surgeons, but like as a woman, like, are you going to fit into your dresses? How is it going to look overall? What about working out in your sports bras? Like, how does all of that work so that it fits your life and not just something for these? I feel like these male surgeons, it's just like bigger is better. We love big boobs,
I agree with that. Because especially here in Houston, I think there was a few surgeons in the 90s and 80s who were really going over the top with the implants.
Right.
And I would hear from the patients, 10 years later, when they're coming in to get them replaced somewhere else, they're saying, I wish I would have gone smaller. I wanted to go smaller. Sometimes, and I want y'all to remember this, they'll say, my husband pushed me to go bigger. I didn't want to go big, but I went big and then I regretted it. So just remember that. Always go with what you want.
Right. Your body, your image in your mind of what you want to look like. That's what you need to worry about. Don't worry about if the doctor says you should go, or bigger is better, or your husband or your boyfriend or somebody is pushing you to go bigger. Always listen to yourself, because you're the one that has to live with those implants until you take them out. You're the one that has to work out in them. You're the one that has to fit into a dress for a wedding,
or a button-up shirt.
Yeah, you're the one that has to do that. Not them.
Not them. Exactly. So, okay. So my female surgeons, I feel like they are also more meticulous. Like their incisions are just a little bit better. I don't know if I think it might be something with their have you ever looked at their hands?
No.
Start looking at female plastic surgeon hands, and they're all long fingers. These really just long,
graceful hands.
Graceful, pretty,
yeah.
For Dr. Daniel Andre, I listened to her consultations, and I loved watching her talk because she has these really long, elegant fingers. And
yeah, she should have played piano too.
I don't know if she ever did. She told me if I wasn't a plastic surgeon, I would have been a massage therapist. I was like, that's interesting.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have jumped to that. I would have thought piano or something, harp. I don't know, something elegant.
Well, the topic of the episode today was celebrity plastic surgery. And I think we covered a lot of celebrity plastic surgery. We'll probably have to do another episode after this with specific celebrities, because that's the juice.
Yeah.
They want to know. But how much can we say without spilling too much or getting ourselves in trouble is really the question. For me, I can't say very much.
Yeah. But I mean,
yeah, I always go. If they have too many followers on Instagram, and I'll have women send me, hey, what do you think about this surgeon? I'm thinking about having surgery with them. And I always tell them you can definitely try, but I always try to look for surgeons who either are not even on social media or are on social media, but don't have that many followers. Once they are over 150,000 followers, they're busy. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get
that individual
concierge type of treatment.
Exactly.
Which is I want. If I'm paying $25,000 for surgery, I better be getting concierge treatment.
Right. I better get treated.
Yeah, I better get treated like I'm spending $25,000 in your facility. And I understand it's because they're busy, but there's a balance. I think that they're still trying to figure out, should I just raise my prices and see less people? Or do I
continue the volume? Yeah.
Keep up with the volume and just go through it.
And there's also ego. I mean, there's a lot of jokes about plastic surgeons and their egos. But once they become a celebrity, they are a celebrity in their own right, sometimes it becomes a battle of egos type situation. And, they want to enhance their celebrity. They want to continue on that path. And sometimes that comes at, at the
cost of the patient.
Yeah.
The cost is the patient's experience.
Right.
Which
exactly.
I think, you guys know I'm a big advocate for the experience, not just, they have great results, but how is the experience? Is it a good experience? Was it a traumatic experience? For example, patients who I have who go out of the country. Oh, maybe I had a little bit of infection, or maybe I did this and I did all of these other things. And I'm like, wait, that sounds like a terrible experience.
Yeah.
That's not a great experience.
Yeah. You don't want to spend weeks hoping that you're not going to lose an eye or something like that,
Yeah, it's terrible. And when you have complications or any type of complication arising from plastic surgery, if you're already in the hands of somebody who is showing you that
they care,
and they are going to hold your hand, and whatever it is, we'll figure it out. You're already in a better place mentally than being with a surgeon who you've only met day of, or maybe 2 times before, maybe 1 time, maybe the day of surgery and at pre-op. If you already don't talk to them, how easy is it going to be to talk to them after surgery? Right.
And that's usually the hardest time for many surgeons. A lot of them are not very good about follow-ups, and follow-ups are often the most important.
Most important.
It's for everything, not just surgery. I know with lip filler, I used to have providers who would do the lip filler and then not contact the patient. And I was like, you have to, because if it's their first time, tomorrow morning when their lips are swollen up to their nose, they're going to freak out and think that something is wrong. You need to call them the next day and say, remember, second day swelling is like the max and it's going to come down. You're going to be fine. And then in a week, you need to contact them and say, hey, do you have any lumps? Gently roll them or come on in, like, something that we can work on, because otherwise they're going to sit there and say, this person botched me, because they don't know that this is a normal healing process because you didn't talk to them. And everything you said before the injection, before the surgery, in one ear, out the other, because they were so excited for the surgery. Now they don't remember what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Since you're a dietitian, answer this question.
Okay.
I get it almost every week. What should they be eating during their recovery? So I had an episode last week with Dr. Abdel Fustak, and we were talking about nutrition, and he went into it, but I got a message from one of my girls and she was like, I don't think he went into it enough. I want to know exactly what to eat. He said water-rich foods, and I want to know exactly what.
Okay. So it definitely depends on the surgery and what their tolerance is. Hydration is the most important after any kind of procedure. You need to be hydrated. So the water-rich foods, that's going to be like your fruits, your vegetables. Those are going to be things that help hydrate in addition to your water intake and anything else you might be drinking to be hydrated. Those are really important. Protein is super, super important. You're healing. So you want to make sure that you're getting that. Now, that being said, if you have something like, bariatric surgery, you're on clear liquids for the few days after, and then you have to gradually, move up to, thicker liquids, and then, your soft solids. So you really need to listen to what your surgeon advises, and you need to ask that before you have the surgery and see if they have, whether it's a program or recommendations. But yeah, it's really hard to talk about it without it being about very specific surgeries.
Individual.
Yeah. Like for instance, like with my bleth, like, did I need to eat any differently? No, I come out and as soon as the nausea wore off from the anesthesia, like I'm good to go. I can eat whatever I want.
Your eyes look great.
Thank you.
No scar. You can't even see the scar. It just
it's
looks
not
like
even
it's
3 months yet.
It looks so good.
Thank you. I love
really
it.
like it.
Dr. Rose, he was amazing.
Rose did good.
Yeah.
Dr. Rose is his own celebrity here in Houston.
Yes, he is. He does a lot of like the Bachelorette contestants and other like Bravo reality show type things. Those are a lot of his clients.
Well, he does a good job. I can see why they go to him.
Thank you. Dr.
Franklin Rose. Okay, you guys. So that wraps up our episode. Dana, thank you so much for coming on. I think it was so much fun. I think we shed some light.
We'll have to do this again and, talk about more if we can. I'll reach out to my people and see
who's going to let you talk.
Yeah. Please. Thank you.
Can I talk?
What can I say?
Can I just say your initials? No.
Right.
If they let you say anything, you guys, I'm not going to say anything. I can't about any of the celebrities.
Yeah.
All I can say is celebrities do things to recover faster. They do things in the middle of the night or through back doors. They're all getting something done. They have nutritionists. They're doing lasers for resurfacing. They're doing frequent radio frequency for skin tightening. They're doing creams. They're doing everything.
Right.
Everything.
They have ironclad NDAs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So everything's a secret. That's why when Kim's stuff comes out, I'm like,
oh my gosh, when she showed her boobs by accident, her implants, like, I feel like she has to be fucking with us. Like, I don't know. Or was she just so excited to show athlete, low body fat that
she didn't pay attention? Yeah. I don't think she paid attention.
Well, here we are. With proof of her implants, her breast implants.
But she did go on TV and take a X-ray of her butt to prove that it was not implants.
Because she didn't have implants.
Because it was fat. It was a BBL.
Right. Well, she started with shots way back, like the ones that are illegal now. What are they called? The
silicone shots?
Whatever. She started with shots and then did fat transfers. But yeah, none of that's going to show up on an X-ray scan. But she thought she was doing something, I guess. And some people believed her, but there's always that person,
Well, she was on national TV, getting an X-ray of her butt to prove a point, to prove that she was natural and it was real.
Right. And it's that weird kind of gaslighting where she says, I don't do this. And everyone hears that means her butt is natural. Like, I don't have butt implants. That means my butt is natural, is what she's implying. And people hear it. And I'm like, no, that means she didn't have butt implants. She could also do X, Y, and Z to get there.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Right.
She's telling you she's not doing one thing, but there's a whole other
tons of things
that it could be.
Right. I had lipo in my arms at the end of May. I didn't actually get Bruise Juice until a week or so later because my arms were black and blue, even though I was using other arnica gels. This one was amazing. Within a week, I could see a complete difference. My arms are almost completely free of bruises. And by the second week, I had none. When I was using the other gels, it just didn't do the same thing. And on top of that, it's like buttery smooth. Like it's not a sticky gel like some of the others. I love the feel of it. Highly recommend.
So, all right, you guys, we're going to wrap this up. I am so excited to have Dana on, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, Dana, for coming on.
Thank you.
I would like to end this episode with a huge thank you to all of our listeners. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to subscribe to Big Butts No Lies Podcast and follow us on Instagram at Big Butts No Lies Podcast. If you have a topic you want me to cover, please send it to the DMs. If you know anyone on their plastic surgery journey, be sure to recommend them the show. You can also visit us on our website, bigbuttsnolies.com. You'll see the online surgical recovery store. We're adding new items all the time. If there's something you think I need to have on there, send me a DM. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, new episodes every Monday. I'll see you then.